forward with the projection.
That's the projection, the 3-point. Yeah. And so I'll walk through a better example like I did on Apple. Like I was saying before, yesterday when we did it, I didn't have my thoughts as organized as I should have. And so I spent some time yesterday just kind of running through charts, and sometimes it's not as easy to figure out your thoughts and what you're looking at and putting it into words. So, but now I think I'm in a better spot to do that. So, but yeah, so it's pretty much everything's just because that was our last major correction for most things. So that's a good starting point of where we're at.
Guess what, gang? We're live. We have audio.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
All right.
So, can I go and share my screen there?
Yeah, I'm going to just make sure I'm recording on Zoom as well so that I have some redundancy built in. And I'm going to now give you everyone permission to share. All right, bro. Do your thing.
All right. So I actually kind of stumbled across this. Which, you guys see my Google screen here? Or you guys see in TradingView?
I see TradingView.
You do. So okay. So you see this Tesla chart here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is Tesla on the monthly chart. I kind of fell into this one yesterday as I was just kind of going through things. So this is the very beginning of Tesla, and so I kind of wanted to walk with you guys real quick through kind of where you see that initial 5-wave count at, and kind of how to take it from there. So as I look at it, if we start here, you guys kind of see a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of like this. It's almost like this is kind of your 1, 2 right here. Does that seem to make sense? 1, 2. Are you guys seeing that?
Not me.
Okay. So if we have, and this is a little bit more difficult on the monthly chart. So if we have a 1 here and a 2, you know what? Let's just we'll just switch over back to Alcoa. I'll post a Tesla one in the chat. But basically, here's what I was looking at, what I found interesting is if I ran a fib here initially from the 1, 2 on Tesla, something like this, you could see that right where we initially failed here, we kind of hit a 1, something like this, 1, 2. Our big push is 3, right? And if we look at our fib sheet, 3, 4, 5, and then we kind of double top here. You guys see that?
Yeah, that makes sense, Brett. I thought you were talking about this was a 1, 2, 3.
Oh, sorry, no. I meant, yeah.
Oh,
1,
yeah,
2,
I definitely see this.
Push 3.
Yeah, here's
4,
your
5,
3.
right?
Yeah, I got you now. I'm with you.
So that's a completed 5-wave count on that fib sheet, right? And so if this is our initial 5-wave count up, right, that would be considered, as I post in the blue, kind of that wave 1. And then I have this as kind of an A, B, C right here. You guys see that? Something like that. And you could run it from here, A, B, C. This part's a little bit subjective, but you see how we did have a little bit of a correction, at least down to here.
Yep.
Brett, is there any reason why you wouldn't count this as a 1? Oh, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4?
Because of where we're hitting on the fibs, right? And so we know this is our wave 3 push, right? Because we've got the volume, we've got a parabolic move here, and we're hitting the 200% extension level. We didn't have a retracement in here, so my thought is wave 3 extended a little bit over from where we would normally on the 168. So do retrace, so our wave 5 is going to come up a little bit higher. So this is just kind of putting it together to, if the fibs don't match up perfectly where they should stop, because Tesla can, we know that can run. You just kind of plot them. If this is a 1, 2, okay, it makes sense that 3 stops here, 4, and then we start to chop around here at 5. So, but anyway, so if this is our first 5-wave move, and this is our ABC here, now this would become on a bigger scale, right? That blue color coded one, which of course I don't have on the monthly chart, but the blue color coded one that I have in the room, right? So now becomes a big wave 1, and now this becomes a wave 2. So then you adjust your fibs. And bring this to the top of wave 1, and this to the bottom of wave 2. Does that make sense?
So how do you know that this is the bottom? But when do you know that this is not the bottom?
Well, technically, wave 3, the start of wave 3 will be confirmed once we, I believe, get over this level, right? Because we're breaking consolidation. But here's what I found interesting why I'm bringing this up. So we use the fibs to find our first 5-wave move and find our first pullback, right? And so if we assume that we're starting into wave 3 here, hopefully this one will go faster. All right, so here's I just turned off bar replay. So if we assume this is a 1-2, right? And we're starting wave 3 here. You see how we had this push up right to the 0.618? Like we did according to the sheet, if we're looking at it again. And it should pull back down to the 0.382, exactly like it did here. Are you seeing that, Shep? Lance, you seen that?
I see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So based on the sheet, so if we pull up the 0.618 and we retrace down to the 0.382, where does wave 3, where should that end? Or at least wave 3 of wave 3, where should that end?
It got loud in here, so I muted. So basically, Brett, I typed that question. So basically, like you went to 5 waves, and then you said, all right, you could treat these as waves 1 and 2, because anytime you basically have a 5-wave and a 3-wave correction, it's all fractal. Those can be broken down or extrapolated out. So this 5-wave could really be 1 wave.
Yep.
So they're interchangeable as long as they're matching that 5-wave up or down with the 3-wave correction, correct?
Yep.
Would that be accurate?
Exactly. And that's where it comes down to your time frame and how you want to use them, right? But if we're looking at the sheet, right? So if we're a little Roman numeral wave 1 goes up to the 618 like we did here, and then we retrace down to the 382, right? Our next wave 3 should take us to the 1, 2, 3, 6.
2, 3, 6, right?
I'm looking at it different. I'm looking at the wave 1 to the 38.2.
Okay.
So was that's the first one they went over in Fibball. I haven't drawn out the second one yet. So you're going off the second.
So all you have to do there, Shep, is then just adjust everything up, right? So if you have the 382 and it went up to the 618, move everything up. So the retracement should come 2 fib levels up. Your target should go 2 fib levels up, right? So if we should extend to the 1, 2, 3, 6, this is where we just hit on the monthly chart on Tesla.
Nice. Okay, so let me see where we should go next. Well, I'm going to take a peek at this.
Isn't that crazy though? Like even on a monthly time frame, just using our initial 5 waves to find where we're at, then we do a 1, 2. We get our 618 rejection, our 382 retracement, and we trade it up, and we hit, at least for now, the 1, 2, 3, 6. No, I'm not going to say to the penny, but pretty darn close.
Okay, wait a sec. Hold on. Because to me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You not seeing that?
I'm not seeing anything on my screen, any annotations.
Yeah, this is the fractal wave that you just draw.
How about now? Do you see it now?
Yep, now I see it. Yep, okay.
Does that not look juicy to you as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
3, 4, 5. Exactly. So that's the 5 waves of
the 3-wave.
Of the 3-wave.
Dang it. Okay. Yep. All right. Yep. That's so much easier now. Okay, that makes sense. All right, wait. So now we should go to, if we trade to the 236, we should trade back down to the 764.
Yep. Now here's what I was saying before we started recording. Is what I'm noticing on higher time frames like this is these fib targets act really nicely as targets and resistance. We don't always get the big retracements down. I don't think Tesla's going to come down to 272.
Yeah, that would kill it.
You know.
So what's the price down there? Sorry.
272 would be the point.
Not a chance. Jesus Christ, no way.
So what I like using these for, at least on the higher time frames, is to kind of get an idea of where things are at. Okay, where could we potentially find targets and resistance where the stock might jam up on a higher time frame, right?
Okay, so if we don't pull back then, because I agree with you, I think there's no way it comes down to that 764. So if we don't come to the 764, then how do we restart our wave count if we never really got that 4?
So what I would do, and what I have been doing, and it's on the Dow chart too, is just go to the daily time frame and just treat it as normal. And so now you have basically a higher time frame of fibs that you could find resistance, and then you could just do your normal daily stuff. And the way I do that is straight from the March correction low, wherever that was, and then just do my wave counts from there as normal. So it's just an extra layer of different targets and things like that, where if I know you like the spreads. If we're coming up to the 0.236, you could probably sell a couple of spreads here, just with the idea that, we're not going to retrace way back down, but I'm not necessarily, going to lose on the trade if I push it out far enough.
Never sell a spread counter trend, my dude.
I do call spreads.
You also use 3-cent stops. You're a madman.
I have good justifications for those. So I want to walk through the Apple chart though, and like you said, Shep, kind of where to find things and kind of how to start everything off, right? So I'm going to remove all my drawings here. So like I said, most of my fibs now I'm basing all off the March correction low of COVID, right? So pretty much right here, March 20th. So, and why is because that was our most recent correction, and we can see, we can find our A, B, C, right? You guys see that there? So what I've been doing, fibs are easier, I think, to find on the 4-hour because you can see the wave counts better. And so here's the easiest way to do this is where would you consider the first 1-2 to be? Would you consider it this?
I would, yeah.
Let's start with this, yes.
This is Apple. This is Apple, the 4-hour chart, kind of starting here at March 23rd of 2020.
Yeah.
So that's the first 1-2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So all you do there, just draw the first set of fibs. Because what we're looking for is this section right here, right? This first initial 5-wave push. This is what we're starting to map out, right? So that way, once we get our pullback, we can run the higher time frame fib to really get our big full 5-wave count on essentially the daily chart, okay? So if we run our 1-2 here, and it makes sense because we have a gap to start wave 3, which is a lot of the times where you're going to see those gaps. Where did everything kind of end on this one? Pretty much right up here, right? The 2382, before we kind of had a pretty big pullback. You guys agree with that?
Yep.
Yes, but I do not see on my chart, or I'm sorry, my fib pinball thing, it stops at the 200. So.
Yep, and this is where, again, it gets a little bit subjective. There are some fibs that run higher than 200. So if I can get in the ballpark, I'm good with that. And it really, what you could do is run the wave 1-2 here, and then 1-2, where 3 should take us here right about to the 764. So that's 3, 4, and we maybe just had a little bit of an extended wave 5. So, and this is where the Elliot Wave pros will just be like, well, you get the flat and extensions per this, that, and the other thing, timing cycles. I don't dive into that far enough. I don't care enough to, but does that make sense?
No, not for me. This one's tricky because if I'm looking at the fib pinball sheet, Okay, I see. So our 1, 2 we've already drawn out, right? So the next level tells us what to do. So the next level it trades up to the 100, right? We'll say it's basically the 100 level.
So I don't know which sheet do you have. You have the one where it goes up to the 100.
Well, I'm saying that which sheet I would use and how I determine the levels is I look at what happened and it traded up to the 100, right?
Correct.
So
pretty close. I would say it traded here just below the 100 and above the 764.
But would you count that as like for your next wave? Would you count that as just the 100 for where you're gonna plot the next wave? Say we can't see this, or no. Yes. Say we did see it. Say we see it trade up to where it did, and then it pulls back down into the.
I would say, so what I would say on that is I would expect it to trade slightly above the 0.618.
Which it did, right?
If I'm adjusting up a full fib and we didn't quite make it to the 100, I would adjust it above the 1618, but not quite above it.
Okay, hold on just a sec. Let me just go through this here. Okay.
And remember, these are just guidelines too, right? Just to give you somewhat of a sense of where things are at. They're not always going to be perfectly accurate.
So I would need to add 2 levels. So if we trade up to that 100% retracement, which we're saying, then my pullback should be to the, just a sec. Okay, hold on.
Your pullback should be to just about the 0.618, maybe just a little bit higher.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Which is where we did right here.
Okay. And then from there, we should go to the, since it's 2 levels higher, we should go to the 1618, right?
So let's just plot this out here real quick. So that's 1, 2.
1382.
Yep. 3. And remember, when I posted this yesterday, I didn't even worry about this wave, so I'm doing this line with you guys right now. I'm going to put wave 5 there because this is clearly where it ends, right? Because this is kind of where we double top and retrace. And so really, it's 1, 2. I would say your 3 ends here, right at the 764. And that was a wave 3 count. What do you guys think? 1, 2, wave 3 ends just above the 764. Then that's the full 3, right? The yellow number.
I thought so, like right there, but I thought 2 was supposed to be at the 0 level.
The 0 level is just where you connect to the low here.
Yeah, that becomes your 0 once you set it there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it looks like this one's following. If you pull up the fib that I put in the Slack when I just did fibs, it looks like it's following the second one, the lower one. And since we're following along here, so our 1 goes up to the 618, blah 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 blah. We get that 1, it goes up to the 100. So then that should pull back to the 618 like it did because we add 2 levels. Then the next one, we add 2 levels again. It should trade up to the 618. I think it traded up to the 764, right?
From the 100 pullback.
It traded almost up to the 2. So
it should go to the 1382, and we go up 2 more. So yeah, it should go up to the 1764 actually.
Yeah. Oops.
Yep, which it did here.
Okay, just a little higher, yeah.
Yep. But that's okay because we also. Yeah,
because this was
it's around that area.
Okay, and then
we kind of have a little ABC here, a little small S curve.
Where should our 4 trade to? Our 4 should trade down to. Okay, so the 764, but you're saying it's pretty unlikely. Oh no, we add 2 764. So the 236 it should trade down to. Did it do that?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, a little bit above it. Went to the 2382.
I was talking about the 4 wave. So according to the sheet, it should trade down into like here, right? Because that's 2 levels.
Yep, and it didn't quite get there.
Yeah, I understand they're different. I'm just making sure that I can follow this sheet along and I'm seeing everything correctly.
Yep.
Okay, so if it doesn't hit that level, does the count start over and we start to add, okay, if this one's like 3 away from where it should hit, so it should have hit the 764 and instead it hit the what? The 618? So let me see. So okay, so instead of hitting
small little wave 4,
it hit the 618. So okay, now do we? Okay, that kind of, we're only one level away, right? So oh no, that's the 1618. Damn, that's up there.
It's up there. It's a small wave 4. But again, like I said, for me, as long as it somewhat follows the guidelines and where I know where I'm at with things, at least a little bit, is really what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'm lost because I don't know where I would project. So if we back trade it, so you I'm sorry, let me clear that off the screen. You wouldn't know that this was a wave 4 confirmed until you get up here to make your new high, right?
Right. Yep. And then you can see that we're making a new high.
So once we get up here, how do you plot where your 5 wave's going to go if this was so off? Do you start all the way back here and just say, okay, well, I know that if this is my 1-2, I should end up here?
That's how I do it. So I'm going to say, because I'm going to leave this as my 1-2 regardless. And so I'm going to say, okay, well, if we went up to the 764, we had a shallow pullback, that's fine. I'll leave that as is. And I'm going to say this will probably trade up to the 200% level. I'm sorry, the one level above the 200%, which would be the 236 here. 2
levels above, right? Because that's our one. Is that right?
That's right. See, I think my sheet's a little bit different than what you guys have online. This is the one I go off of.
Where'd you get that? We can just replace that one.
It's all over Slack. I can throw it in there real quick.
I mean, do you have a link to where you actually got it?
Yeah, it's on the pinball guide, and I just took screenshots of it as I was learning.
Oh, okay.
Just saved them as pictures and printed them off.
I wonder. All right, sorry. Yeah, I've been that first one you ever sent me is the one I've been going off of.
You want me to post that in there? Do you guys have
That'd be cool, yeah. And then I'll do a custom Slack response just so that we can get rid of this other one.
Roll this in here real quick. Any questions on that? I'll put 2 of them in there. Although I like the fib pinball too, because it kind of gives you right in the middle, and it's a little bit easier, I think, to adjust up and down. Yes, yeah, it's in there now. You guys see it?
Yeah, that is the one I've been using also. Nice.
Okay.
So on this move down to the 4, would you have acted somehow on these levels now? Would you have done something there? Because I find it pretty difficult to, if I don't know, well, am I right or am I not right? I cannot do anything.
So what I'm doing here is, at least for me, is I'm just trying to get my first initial wave 1-2, the left side of the sheet, so that I can kind of get the bigger move and figure out where we are. If we are, because at this stage of the game, from where we were in the COVID correction, we're not necessarily out of the woods yet, right? This still could, be an A wave down. We could trade up and then roll over for a B wave, right? And so what I'm looking for is, because we broke this level, a higher high, and then a higher low. And then once we break this, now we're in a confirmed wave 3 and the correction's technically over.
I see. Yeah.
So that's where, when I'm going back through charts now, as I'm plotting them out, I'm not necessarily counting where we were in the correction. I just want to find, okay, can I find an easy 1-2? Yes, 1 here, 2 here, and then this is our gap to start wave 3. Right? Because
you could place a projection right there.
And that's exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is going to move to the bottom of wave 2. And this one will move to the top. Right? So now this is the left side of our sheet, right? The first 5 waves up overall, this is the left side of the sheet. And this is our pullback for wave 2, right? Now we're starting from 0.0, if you will, and that's where our gap is. Make sense?
Absolutely.
So if the structure makes sense, you can start a 1-2 really from anywhere to project out if there's the 5 wave and the 3 wave that are present. And
Exactly. Yep. And that's what I do on the lower time frames is, so if we have our 1-2 here, now we can look, where's Apple at these days, right? We can kind of get a little bit of a better sense of where it's at overall, because we know this is all going to be a wave 3, right? And so that's where you just kind of start plotting out, okay, well, if this is our 1 here and our 2 here, right? Of just this first wave. This is what we're looking for, the 5 wave count in just this first wave here, right? And that's why I color coded everything in Slack to make it easy, because I was confusing myself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So this would be, what do I have those is orange, right? So this would be, so we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And our 5 wave ends right at the 0.764, just like it does in this first Roman numeral wave, right?
Yeah, you're losing me here because doesn't the 3 have to go above the 1?
Probably. Honestly, probably.
And then the 5 is still like barely above the 1.
Probably. But at the same, again, as I've said, I'm not an E-wave expert by any means. I'm really just more so playing the fibs. They might have an answer to that. I don't know. That's a good question, Liz, to be honest with you. But, maybe you could be right. Maybe it is. Actually, this could be what would they call this?
so
I would call this a wedge formation. I forget what they call it, diagonal, right? Starting diagonal or something like that.
Something like
Brett,
that.
go back to the 1-2 on this one. Where did you say it was? The 1-2 to set it up? Was it right?
I have it kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is my first wave 1, and then a retracement for wave 2 down to here.
Okay.
Right. And Lance is right. Wave 3 probably should be moving higher than wave 1. But at the same time, for me, I can see that at least it stops at the 764, which is what I'm looking for on the sheet. You guys tracking with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm pulling it up right now.
So I've color coded everything yellow for the wave 3s, by the way, just because I like the color yellow.
No, see, I'm looking at your chart, or I'm sorry, the fib picture, the chart that you just shared, and I see it pulling back to the 764 after the 1-2, but I don't see it trading up to the 764.
So do you see where on that sheet in Slack,
Yep.
we have our first 5, very left side of the screen, first 5 waves up, and then ABC down, right?
Okay, then that's one,
right here. First 5 waves up, and then our ABC down.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Right? And then that Roman numeral I trades up, right? And that's where we look for our 1-2 here. Okay?
So real fast on that, Brett.
I'm sorry, that's where we trade up, and we look for our 1-2, which I had as kind of 1-2 because we traded up to the 764, and we retrace back down to the 0.5-ish level. This one on the sheet trades up to 764. Everything shifts up 1. So instead of the 382, it shifts up 1 to the 0.5 level. Tracking with that? No.
Nope.
All right, let me try this here. Boom. I love trading view.
Wow, that's so much easier. Thank the Lord. Okay, well, the stream just got 6 times better because I don't have to have this thing open now. Okay, thanks.
Okay. So, do I have so this is where our first 5 waves up right here is this first 5 waves up right here, right? Then we have ABC and then ABC, okay? So this is 0.2 where we're starting right now, right? This is the end of wave 2. So wave 3, the start of wave 3, and they call this wave I of wave 3, right? Should trade up to the 0.618, 0.764, somewhere right around there. And that's where we traded up to, right? The 0.618 level. I'm sorry. We traded up to 0.764 level. Because in this line here, we need to find 5 waves. And that's where it lands, where I was counting the 1, 2, kind of 3, 4, 5, which might not shape up perfectly. So I'm going to do this.
Interesting. I was not aware of this, that we are looking for the 5 waves. So you immediately knew that the first top there is not the correct one because you cannot find 5 waves in there, right?
I know that for this move here, I need to find 5 waves that connects me up to one of these levels, the 764 or the 618. So as I look, I could see, okay, immediately we rejected here. Can I find 5 waves in here that represent this first wave, right? Am I making sense at all?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So, and the waves might not be perfect. I'm cool with that. So we have our 1 here and our 2 here, because we retrace back to the 0.5. Just like on the sheet, we trace back to the 0.382, but everything shifts up 1 since we went up to the 0.764 level, right? I wonder if I can do this. Oh. Is that helpful if I do that at all?
Definitely. You can also, if you want, you can right click the image you're on and then do visual order and send it back, and that should work.
Okay, I've never known what that means. What does that mean?
It means that, yeah. So like what you see first. So like if you imagine it's 3 dimensions.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. So as a recap, right? We found our first 5 waves right here and our ABC correction for wave 2. First 5 waves, ABC correction wave 2. Wave 3 starts the gap, or the gap starts wave 3. We look for our level to trade up to 764, the 618, somewhere around here, and then a retracement. We got our 764, and then we came back down to wave 2, or on wave 2 to here. We'll make that that color. All right, that makes sense? Be tracking. So now this is where we start wave 3. Because we hit the 764, we're going to shift everything up 1. So instead of the 1.236, we're going to shift it up 1 to the 1.382. Tracking with that? Yes? No? Maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're not quite there yet. So, because, Apple is just getting started. So, but that's where, and that's why I think, even though, the market's been ripping and Apple's been ripping, I think personally that we are in this powerful wave 3. This is the wave where you want to be trading here. This is what they call the 1-2-1-2 setup, where you have 1-2-1-2, because that's where you're going to get the most powerful wave in stock trading that you're going to find on any time frame, right? As we saw in Tesla, we had our initial 1-2 and then a small 1-2 before we went absolutely parabolic on the monthly chart, at least, right?
That makes sense.
Okay. If it's not, let me know.
That definitely makes sense in my brain. What you just said, simply, for me, it's like I feel like, I don't know if it's just this particular chart and the 3 being like less than the 1, but yeah, I'm spinning a little bit on this one.
Let's try something else. Let's do it. What do you guys want to?
Didn't we look at like PayPal the other day or something like that?
Yeah, we did. I haven't checked that one out yet.
One of them looks super clean. I was looking at a clean one yesterday, I thought. I can't remember what it was on now.
I'm going to remove all my drawings here. So let's take a look at PayPal. This will be new because I have not done this one yet. All right. So as we look at the chart, right, we could see we had a pretty deep pullback here, right? Kind of ABC, right down to the March correction, which is where we're going to start everything off.
What if we were to like legit back trade and not see any of the chart and try to like project them out ourselves?
Done. Let's do that. Okay. So let's see. All right, can you see this?
Yep.
All right, so what I'm going to do, let's see. So for me, this will become a 1-2, I think. 1, 2, I'd like to see 5 waves in there. Well, let's just get, and this is where, by the way, trying to play out of a correction can be kind of tough because nothing's quite established yet. So
Right, we have to wait for that new high, right?
I would think so, because right now we're coming back. So Shep, this is what I would do here. Since we have a low here and we have a high here,
Yep.
I'm going to run that 2-point fib,
Yep.
right, to get my different levels here. Ideally, on a wave 2 pullback, you want to be within kind of that 0.5 to 0.618 range.
Mm-hmm.
You can retrace down to the 786, but this is kind of your golden zone here. Right?
Can you throw that picture back up on the screen while we do this, please?
Yep. I don't know how much good it will do because we're using the 2.1 just for retracement, which is where I usually find the support and resistance levels. Oh, that's massive. See that?
Yep, thank you.
Okay. So we're pulling back. Still going. Okay. There's our gap out of here. So what does that tell us? Wave 3. Yep. So this is going to be our 1-2 here. And we held our 0.5 level. So I'm going to get rid of this. So now we're going to run our 3-point.
1, yep. 2.
1, 2.
Yep.
Okay. So now we know that. So again, we're looking for this structure here. 5 waves up and 3 down for getting into the big, nice wave 3 section. So we have our levels here. We gapped out. Currently, we're rejecting off the 764. If we pull back to, what is that, 0.5 level, if we shift one up, which we almost kind of did on one candle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, real quick. So when we're like, okay, this gap up just started the wave 3.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, with what we just drew from the 1-2, the 3-point fib extension, we are anticipating that what just started with this wave 3, with this gap, should trade all the way up to the 1618, the 161.8, right? That's what we're saying?
Yep, and this will be our initial wave.
And within that, now we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we're tracking as we build this 3 up to the 106.18. Right?
So for the full 5 wave, we're going to be looking actually to get up to the 200, right?
Right.
Or somewhere around here.
If we're just talking about the 3 wave right now.
Just wave 3, yeah, we'd be looking for the 1.618.
So we're inside this. So we just started the gap up. So now what we're looking for is we're looking to trade up to the 618 level, right? And it looks like we traded up to the 764. So now everything comes up a level. We should trade now to the 0.5 on our pullback, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Which we almost hit here, right? On that wick.
Huh.
So we'll see where it takes us.
Okay. Okay. So hold on. Let's just do this step by step. So, okay, let's say we hit the 0.5. Now, this is the wave 3 of the wave 3, right?
This is, if we break this level.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Right. So if
our trigger level, if our trigger level is typically going to be the 764, right? So if we break this level, I would say we are off the races to wave 3.
To 123.6. Or wait, did we? No, we moved everything up one, right? So we should go to 138.2.
Yep, 138.2. So right about 119 or so.
Cool.
That's what we'd be looking at. Sound good?
Yep.
So now, breaking this level, is this the place to put on a swing long, for example?
This would be a place that you certainly could. I think the first 5 waves might be a little tough, but I mean, If this is following the fib path, we've got our gap. We hit exactly on the 764. And, if we break out here, we've got some volume coming in. I think you certainly could put a swing up to that
Here,
382 level.
breakout and then a small pullback and then get long in, anticipate the move to the 1618, something like this.
Yep, it depends on how you want to trade. I mean, if you're comfortable trading up and then a pullback and then trading back up, certainly could. Just depends on your trading style. There's an inside candle. I like that. See, now this one, I would take a break above the inside candle. It's just me personally.
Now, is everything still valid here?
Yep.
We're looking for that 1382 level, right?
Yep.
Now, what about this resistance we're facing at the 100 level? Do you care about this at all, or is this just part of the wave 3?
It's a part of the wave 3. I think the 100% level is very significant, especially on pullbacks, right?
So look here though. If you look, so what am I missing? Like right here, Roman numeral 3. That resistance is the 100 level. So what
was the initial trade up point on this wave here? I'm gonna guess it's the 382.
Yes.
Yeah. So then, if that's the case, then everything would shift. So if that were the case, then you'd be looking for the 100% level.
All right. So back. All right. All right. So.
But we traded it here.
We traded up to the 764. Okay.
Yep.
Yes, that's what we're saying. We ended up pushing everything up 2 levels.
Correct.
One level,
Yep.
I think, right? Just one level.
I think it's 2 on his sheet that he's looking at.
Oh, okay.
But 1 level on the one I posted.
Right.
Back there. All right. So if we keep clicking forward here, and again, you can, even within this, you can count the waves as well, right? 1, 2, possibly a 3 since we gapped out of it. It's all fractal.
Brett, before we continue, just one question. Yep. Let's just for a second assume that we now really pull back to the 0382 level. So it clearly fails. When would you restart your wave? Or when would you restart counting? So it really pulls back to the 90 level, for example, really down.
So if it pulled all the way back here?
Yeah, something like this.
I would probably then maybe just consider that, depending on 1, 2,
okay,
something like that. I guess I'd have to see it on the chart, but
okay, you would then just recalibrate and look for another wave then.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
because I'm wrong somewhere, and it generally, if the fib's going to be wrong, it's could be something on a higher time frame. You just never know.
All right. Yeah,
so
makes sense.
All right, so where do we say we're trading up to? The 382.
382.
Okay. We got some volume coming in there. Still no concern. All right, so now we hit our 382. See where it takes us. All right, so do we have 5 waves in here? 1, 2, a gap for 3, 4, 5, possibly. I guess we'll see what happens. That's the thing; you never quite know, and as you're going through.
Well, at this point, it could just keep going because we're already in. We just hit our profit target.
Look at that candle that just came in, though.
Yeah, look, that's a lot of volume.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, all right. Before we continue, we should trade down to now the 382. We should trade down to the 100 level.
Yeah, so we should probably retest right around here, which is going to line up, with a nice, I guess, morning stars candle on a retest. And
then we'll start our
wave.
This is the wave 4. Yeah, so that we should pull. This should be the ABC after the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Am I seeing this right?
I think so.
No. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. So we should be. This is the wave 3. We're looking for the wave IV, which is still inside the larger wave 3.
Yep. So that would be wave 4 of wave 3.
Yep, I'm with you.
Okay. And it took me forever too. These just kind of go straight up in a nice straight line. I mean, wave 1 and 2, this can chop around for quite a while, right? So that's where you use these fib levels as kind of those trigger levels, right? So because it looks like we only maybe pulled back to the 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay. So now we're gapping out of here.
Sorry, I had myself muted. Let me real quick. So if we only pull back to that 236 when we're supposed to pull back to the 100, do we adjust our projections?
I don't think so. I wouldn't, because I have my nice 1, 2 here. If we didn't pull back fully, okay,
So we don't care. We're still looking for that. We're still looking to trade up to the 1764. That's our wave 3 target, right?
Yep, which we hit, and then we're gapping above it. So now.
Oh boy. So now, okay, yeah, we didn't get a pullback to the 1236 at all.
So I'm wondering, because this is an earnings gap as well, on negative earnings, which it's fine. So what I think. I mean, these are not. Let's try. Let's jump down to the 65. See if this makes a little bit more sense. So I usually use a 4-hour or 65-minute. If I can't necessarily find the waves in the 4-hour, I'll go down and see if that makes more sense. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ABC. Touch up. Did you have a question? What do you guys think? That would make sense, right?
To me, it looks a bit confusing.
Well, that's fibs for you. All right, so we know we're in wave 3, right? The first wave.
So hold on, Brett, right there. All right, we got the 1, 2 right there. So we're saying based on that, wave 3 should trade up to where?
The 1.764.
1764.
So this, I think, is the level that wave. Let's see. No, I'm confused. I'm sorry. Yeah, wave 3 should trade up to the 1764. So that would be the end of wave 3. Okay.
All right, and and we said that's because we bumped it up a level. Where did we bump it? Where did we say, okay, we're bumping it up a level? When it when it bounced off the 764.
Yep, I'm gonna pull this over a little bit.
It should have been hitting off the 618.
Yep. And it's just again, so it can hit the 382, the 0.5, the 618, the 764. It doesn't matter as long as it hits one of those levels and pulls back. You'll know, right? So in this case, we hit the 764. So we just take our pullback here and we just move it up to the 0.5.
Gotcha.
Right? And so then we move our targets up, however many we moved up the other one, right? So instead of the 1, 2, 3, 6 on wave 3 here, 3 of 3, we moved it up to the 1382, right? Our fifth wave, instead of the 200, we're going to move a little bit above. And this is why I color coded everything, because it can be tough to keep track of the waves and where you're at. And that's where I wanted to do the blue, as in the big macro scale is going to be our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
Yeah.
And then just specifically just wave 3. That's where I did it in yellow. And then the Roman numeral, the orange ones, are kind of the counts in between here of where we're getting up to, right? Because it's tough, honestly. It still makes my head hurt.
I think for me,
you almost have to.
Go ahead, Jeff.
When you start saying it's almost like in my mind, I have to say wave 1 of 3 and 2 of 3 and 3 of 3, 4 of 3, 5 of 3. Because you start saying wave 1 and 2 and 3, they all, in my mind, it's all jumbling together.
And then Slack, that's where I posted Roman wave I of 3, wave, 3 of 3, that's exactly. So,
Triple I. Okay, I think for me,
so
the application. Go ahead, Brett. Sorry.
I was gonna say the 4 hours. It was tough to count on this one, right? Because you couldn't necessarily find the waves. But I think looking at this one, it makes it a lot clearer, at least to me. Because I think we have, right? Because we are in. This should be our 1, 2 on the blue side, right? I'm going to call that blue for right now, at least for right now, because that will grow. But right, so if we're looking at just wave 3 to count those in the yellow. All right, let's turn these yellow. All right, so we're just looking at wave I of wave 3,
looking at the
right?
waves inside the wave.
Right. So where does wave 1 end? We would expect that at the 764, which it did. Okay, let's plot 1 there. 2 came back.
Oh, hold on. Wave 1 of 3 at the 764.
Yep.
All right, so that's, and I guess I'm slow. I told Lance I'm a rep guy. It takes me a little bit. I have multiple reps.
We all are, bro.
You got the 382 on your sheet, right?
Yes, that's what I'm looking at. Yes.
Yep. So shift that up, however many. So 1, 2, 3 levels. You're gonna shift everything up.
Yeah, I got the first fib pinball chart written down. I haven't been able to write the second one down that has these adjusted levels on it. Okay, I'm with you.
Wave 2 right here, right? Because we did pull back, or at least that's what we're considering. Now wave 3, 1, 2, 3 with a gap, right? 4, 5. Does that make sense? Does that line up? Again, this is just right now. We're just see. I'm keeping confusing myself again. Dang it. Wave 3, I think, comes up to here, right? Because that's what we said. 1382. No, we said, Lance.
Yeah, sorry, I had myself muted. Yeah, right. Right here,
Yeah,
and then we got this pullback.
Put that there for now. Okay, so then we got the pullback to the not far enough, but it is enough. We'll call that 4.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that's confusing in here is this. Because I'm with you. This should be a 1, 2. This whole thing trades up to 3. But you're saying just ignore all this shit. Don't worry about it.
Well, no, it kind of matches up. And here's where I think that they'll tell you that is because we went 1, 2. We had a nice wave 3, and we had a short pullback on wave 4. You're going to get a short extension on wave 5.
No, not that. This here.
Okay.
Doesn't that, if you saw, so say none of this happened yet, and you're like, okay, here's my 1, 2, and you're looking for to trade up to the 3. You're saying, I don't give a shit about this because my chart tells me that 3 should be up here. So I don't care about this. Is that what you're saying to yourself?
Exactly. I'm going to say my wave 3 of 3 ends at the 1382. That's where I'm putting my wave 3, right?
Okay. And real quick, so I think we talked about this, but I want to go over it again. So this is our 1, our 2, and you're not counting this as a completed 2 until we get up here, right?
Until we break our trigger level, which is the 764. Yep. Or if you want to be even safer, say break this pivot here.
Okay, I see there.
Now, sorry, what pivot? This one?
Yeah, the top of this red candle. Now, bear in mind, once we are still working on this first 5 wave here, once we get this completed and we get this pullback, things are going to get a lot clearer.
Which is this?
Everything we're working on is still, if you could see, is all right in here right now. We're still working on this very first.
Oh, I thought we were here.
Count. We are on a macro scale, big scale. This is the 5 wave count we are working on using this full application.
Oh, my brain just started heating up.
Yep. So we are working on this wave 1 on a macro scale. using 5 waves.
Which would be, so we're working on the 4-hour wave 1. And in order to do that, we're on a 65.
Technically to this point here, right? So now we're coming out of a correction, right? So things might be a little bit jumbled until we get that 1, 2. Things will start to get a lot clearer, again, on a macro perspective, right?
Okay, question.
Fire away.
And this is going to be a bit blunt, but who the fuck cares? If like, why do we give a shit about the 4-hour, what the 4-hour looks like if we can literally make money right here?
Well, you can, yeah. I'm just saying, from an ease perspective, I plot my fibs on either the 65 or the 4-hour.
Did you say ease?
I did, yeah.
Okay, like futures, you mean?
Ease is in like easy for comfort.
Oh, okay.
So I can count waves a little easier. Yep.
I see.
So here's what we're looking for, Lance. So we want to get, let's see, wave 3 here. We want to get slightly above the 200% level is what we're looking for, ideally, and then to get a pullback. So we can get 1, 2, and that will give us this right here. And then we can get into really the meat and potatoes of the entire stock move right into this whole area here.
I see.
You guys tracking?
Yeah. So, but okay. So let's say this is fractal, right? We're working on this because so we can catch the 3 of the 3 would be okay. This is 1, 2. This is our 3. This is 1, 2. This is our 3. Once we get here, right? So we can catch this 3 within a 3, and then this is actually just a 1. And then once we pull back to 2, then we look for our next 3 within a 3. So we'll get a 1, 2, and then we'll try to get in here, but it'll be confirmed here. And then that'll be like, okay, now the daily, everything's in a 3.
Bingo. Yep. Exactly. And that's why I have on those charts that I posted, the blue is the macro scale, right? That lists out on the big time frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I cannot get those until we have our first macro 1, 2 pullback, which is what we are working on right now.
Gotcha.
Make sense? All right. Let's see where this takes us. Because right now, I think this should be, especially with this volume, I'm wondering, because I think this would be the end of wave 3. The entire move of wave 3, this whole 5-wave count. I think this should be the end of it, and we'll be looking for a pullback. And so again, Shep, this is where you could run your fib, the 2-point, from high to low, if this is truly the top, and get some retracement levels back.
Okay.
For support. So let's see what happens. All right, so looks like, yeah, we're chopping at this level. Okay. You want me to stick on the time frame or move back? So what do you guys think? Corrective wave? Would this be now 1, 2, or not far enough? This is where it gets subjective.
What do you mean a 1, 2?
Far enough.
Well, so we're looking for the end, right? We're looking for the end right here on this wave 1.
Which would be a 5.
Yep, because we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which we assume to end right about the 2, 3, 6, right? So now we're looking for this ABC correction in some form or fashion.
Why the 2618 or the 236?
Why is that on my fibs?
I don't see it on this chart.
So all I did, because sometimes they go past, is I just took, okay, well, what do we have after the 100% would go to 200%, right? Well, then we have 1.236 here. I'll just plug in 2.236 here. right? Then we have 1382. So I just basically took the same fibs and just now put them in the 200% level.
Okay.
So right or wrong, it works for me at least. So what I would say is if this is truly a correction,
That could be an A correction.
and this is our 1-2, we should probably have a decent gap, I would think, to start on the macro scale, the big wave one. Or we would have a gap of volume or something. And it could very well be, maybe the entire move ended at the 1764, and now this is our wave one here, right? On the bigger scale, right? Because it was an earnings gap. Never know. At which point, then we could adjust our fib somehow. And can I take this off, or do you guys need this up here? Oh, yeah, that's right.
I like it up there personally.
You like it up there? Okay. So let me hop back to the 4 hour real quick. When in doubt, zoom out. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think somewhere in here we've completed our 5-wave move, and we could certainly be in. I don't know. Well, let's play with this here for a second. Let's see if anything lines up. So if we just, for the moment, if we consider this our initial 5-wave up here, and somehow this is our ABC on the lower time frame, if we can find the wave counts there, right? Then we would expect us to trade up somewhere into these levels and look for failure, right? And why I say that is we have our 1-2 on a macro scale. If we're truly starting a wave 3, you generally want to see it on a big gap, which we have right here with a lot of volume, right? So this is where some of the subjectivity comes into play.
I could see that, but there's just
The
not diddly for a wave 2.
Exactly. Let's see how
Even on the smaller time frame, I mean, there wasn't shit.
All right. 0.382 rejection. We usually do reject that level the first time. That's usually a pretty good resistance. So that leads me to believe that that certainly could be a 1-2 here. And then we are in the wave 3. Let's find out. What's our volume look like? Yeah.
How are you playing this? Like, if we're talking about, okay, we're watching this unfold, but what are you looking for as far as entries and stuff like that? Like, tell me how you're playing this actually.
So, and because we're coming out of a correction, I'm looking for somewhat of a clear 1-2 picture, right? And we can do this again on a lower time frame, so it's like a day trade, so it's a little bit easier. And once we have that, I think things get easier. But since we rejected the 382 here and chopped, and then we gapped out, I think this is now a 1-2 of just wave 1, right? And we're
on the chart that I have, it has wave 2 of 3 trading down to the 23.6 level, which looks like it could be like right here.
Yep. So consider the blue to be now the macro perspective, right? The daily chart, everything like that, right? We were first, for now, we're going to call this our first 5 waves up. And this is just going to be our small correction. Okay. And on the daily chart, on the higher time frames, we're now into wave 3. This is where everything should
go to 100, right?
It depends, right? That's what we're going to find out. Where is this going to reject off of and give us a pullback to call wave 2? It could be the 764, it could be the 618, it could be right here, right? We're going to let this kind of play out because that will give us a 1-2, 1-2 setup, and that's where we can start to get involved with a swing trade and things like that. Make sense?
That looks like it, right?
I think that's it too. So if that's the case, almost to the 618 and down to the 0.5, 618, short of 382. I would take a breakout above the 618, even just for a short term, maybe up to the 227 to see if we still stop there.
Why wouldn't you take it?
Or on a high wave beforehand.
Obviously, I'm obsessed with retests and getting in as low as possible. So when I see this, down to this 0.5 with this hammer, and it's near this level, and it's at the gap fill.
Yep.
Is it an absolutely preposterous idea to say, okay, I'm taking the halfway point of this candle with a stop? That's the thing. I guess where would I put my stop?
No, not at all.
Where would I put my stop? Let's look at this and see what's a good place using fibs. Because if I'm using support and resistance, I'm saying, okay, well, the buyers held this gap, so I could put a stop like below this pivot. I mean, I have this. Where's this volume? Can you send me what candle that volume's on?
Right there.
No, this one.
Right on the gap there.
So okay, that held. So I mean, I guess a stop.
So now let's look at this though. So we're working on this wave right here, right?
Hey, buddy.
And
Come here.
we're expecting that to trade up. So I ran just for the start of this wave, the little 1-2 on this wave to see where it'll end us. So it took us from a 1 here to a 2 down. Okay. And we hit our 0.764. Right.
Yeah.
So if we are, because we're working just on this wave right here, right? On the big time frame.
Yeah. So we should trade to the 0.5, which we did.
Yep. But we also, if we get a little bit more fractal with it, traded right to the, if we use the fibs on this 5-wave count up, knowing where we're going to go, which is now in orange, we did hit our 764 and we did hit the 0.5 here. So yeah, you could do your retest on this hammer with a stop below it. Everybody confused?
I'd get in like this. And then my target would be the 236, right?
Mm-hmm. I would think so. One up. Well, I would shift one up, the 1382, since we hit the 764.
Okay, well, I'll take it here.
But where's that align, right?
Take it at 236.
That 1764, 1382. Yeah, I would probably take it at the 236 as well, because you have this other fib here. And that's where you're kind of getting into some of the clusters. So let's do that. What do you
I would take it right here. I would have taken it on this candle. The red candle.
candle here?
I would have got entered. Well, my entry would have been halfway through this hammer.
Okay.
And I'd probably put a stop. No, I wouldn't put it there. I wouldn't put it there. Yeah, I'd probably put it right here. Because, I mean, my RR is already stellar, so I don't need to be super picky.
All right, so you can do it right here?
I think so, yeah. And then I'd take my target up to, I'd front run this 236. I'd put it right there. Yeah, looks good.
Okay.
I would front run it even more. I'd put it here. Just because I want to make sure I get hit.
Yep. All right, let's do that. You want to put it at the 100 then?
Not all the way down there. Somewhere in between. I like to do like in little in-betweeners.
Okay.
Okay, so we would have been in. We're in.
We're in.
Mm.
Curious to see if this plays out.
Come on, baby. Come get us up there. Come on. Oh, my God. What a move.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that makes sense. We get a perfect entry and then some crazy shit happens. Yeah, that makes sense. This is definitely a trade I'd be in.
But you probably would have been trailing your stop along the way, right? And we're stopped out.
I don't know, honestly. I don't know if I would have.
So, 1, 2. Came up to the 764, and now we're breaking down below that. All right.
So is this that 2 wave we've been waiting for, do you think?
Could be. Could be. Maybe this wasn't the 1, 2. Maybe this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this was actually the 1, 2 here. On a
No, this is up.
oh no, you already have that. Although, if you think about it, let's just drop this off. If we look at the higher time frame, we're just hitting the 618, right? So if this is still our 1, 2 that we initially did, I'm gonna take these off, and we're now in wave 3. We're expecting that to come to the 618, 764 maybe. And now that we're double topping off of it and coming down, if we can maybe hold this level and come back, then we could be off to the races. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I say macro, I'm thinking like the bigger time frames. Do you guys want me to put the blue ones on? That help? So as in
This is the macro.
1, yeah, 2, 3. Just put somewhere around here for now. 4, and then 5. Just throw up around the 200, something like that. Right? So blue from the macro perspective, right? Shrink this down. So 1, 2 is here in blue. We're expecting to trade up to the 1618 or so in blue, right? So now we're working on this first wave to get there, which now we're rejecting off of the 618. Sound good?
I see what you did there.
Everybody
Yeah,
track
that
so far?
wave 2 just trips me up. It's so
It
tiny.
does me too. Yeah, it does me too. And it could be, I don't know, growth stocks, market psychology. Who knows? Who knows what was going on in the market at the time?
No algos.
Again, these are just a decent guideline. But what I will say is because we're rejecting off the 618 here, if we hold this level and we break out, I would absolutely take a breakout on this, because that to me will confirm we are starting this wave here.
I mean, and that's, Brett, interesting because I'm still a little bit in the fog on, I mean, I understand the basic 5 and 3 structure.
Yep.
Still a little in the fog on the 1, 2 breakout. But what is undoubtable is 618 means something.
Absolutely.
And 764 means something. And you know what? So when you're seeing the prices approaching or hitting off or breaking out above, it gives you an indicator. All right, here's the 618. All right, so there's a wave in there somewhere. It kind of gives you a landmark if you're lost that you can use to try to figure it out.
And this is where
it's weird.
This first section, I'm telling you, is just tough to figure out, right? Because everybody's still in correction mode, right? Nothing's real clear yet. Once we have a good, and I think we're getting there now, we're starting to see these fibs line up more, right? We're getting that rejection now. We're pulling back from a 1, an ABC possibly, which I think is the end because we're gapping down with volume here, into kind of this double bottom area. And if we break this, that's a confirmed wave 3, and we can really ride that to the upside. And everything within this will get a lot more clear.
These algos are bouncing off of these fibs going. I mean, they're running fibs on top of fibs on top of fibs. They're cross coordinating different time frames. I mean, you can only imagine what these algorithms are doing, and it makes sense once you start diving into it, because it's just purely based on math, time frames. It's programmable data.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, though.
Projected.
It seems like they could get really turned around with some weird shit going on. Like that wave 2, I'm a human being and that thing confuses me.
Now think about this. Now here's something interesting. All right. So here's our 1, 2. We're going to call it that. I mean, it could be 1, 2, who knows? But we're working on 1, 2, 3, 4, somehow 5, whatever, traded up to 618, right? Now we're pulling back and our ABC somehow. We're ready to start this parabolic wave 3. we've got earnings coming up on November 2nd, right? A couple of weeks away. If it were me and I was looking to take like an options play on earnings, just having an idea of where we are, I'd certainly take an options play long, just in case we do go into wave 3 and go parabolic. At least gives you kind of an idea of where we're at with things, right? Because I could see us chopping within here possibly.
Wait a sec. PayPal's about to get crushed, isn't it?
I have no clue.
I think it is.
I haven't played PayPal.
Yeah, PayPal's been getting shit on the past.
Well, we're back in October 21st of 2020 right now.
Oh, we're in 2020. Okay. No, if this were 2021, this thing would be getting ready to poop its pants. I see.
So yeah, we're chopping in here, and this is where I think the market knows what's upcoming, right?
Wouldn't you have taken an entry here though?
Would I?
Yeah, because you were waiting for a breakout of this level, right?
Yeah, we didn't close over it though. Did we?
No.
Yeah.
A wick. It's a wick. Pretty much a wick.
And especially with the earnings coming up, I probably wouldn't have. But what are we on? October 30th. I'm just curious. If we hold this level, I would absolutely take an options long on an earnings play. Because I'm guessing we're probably going to gap out of here for a big wave 3. Or not. Oh, we are starting.
Yeah. What the hell, man?
So we're just chopping in here. It's fine, right? And this is what's going to happen. We're chopping in here. Not a big deal. We know where our level is. I mean, you could take an entry here and just play it up shortly, however you want to do it.
So now all you're doing is you're just waiting. You want this level to hold, and you want to make a new high up here.
Correct.
That looks like a nice break above and then a retest.
So I'd be looking at
volume up there.
Yeah, you got your hammer right there off of the 618.
Now, do you want to see it come? Sorry. Do you want to see it come like pretty far up out of here and then try to retest?
I'd probably take a break and then maybe a hold of the 764. Just because to me that's such a key level. I'm going to speed this up a little bit here.
There it was.
All right, so now we're moving. I mean, we've gone from 177 to 243 and remember in a month.
So this was the start of our wave 3, would you say?
Yep. So this would be your 1-2. Your 1-2 setup.
So where are you saying wave 3 starts?
Wave 3. This one started. We have
the big wave. The big wave 3.
The big wave 3. Once we break this level here, because we rejected initially off the 618, right, and traded back down, and so once we break that to the upside, which is here, we are now in that wave 3 of 3, the big waves.
So you'd count them as this whole thing as like the wave.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
This definitely looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A, B, C.
Yeah, and that's your Can you do that again? Say that again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A, B, C.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, could be. I mean, want to move the fibs up and see how it looks? Let's play out for now. But anyway, so because we are now breaking out above letter I here, right? Which is this level where we double topped and we pulled back to 2. Once we break out of that level, right, we know that we're in wave 3 to the upside, which we did. We chopped, which is kind of another 1-2. You can find these 1-2s everywhere. And now look, we're just going parabolic with gaps and everything like that. Is that making sense at all?
So hold on, Brad. Let me see here. So we're saying, are you saying that would have been
So I'm going to say,
level I right there?
no, so we'll go, let's start my 0 line. We'll call it something like that. Wave 3 count, right? So 1. So I'm going to call this just 1, 2 here. Move these out of the way for now. So 1 is letter I.
Gotcha.
2, right? And now we're working on 3, which should take us to, since we hit the 618, take us to what? The 236. 3, something like that.
Bro, I can see the candle too. I can see which one I would have played.
So now we know where we're at. So now you break out. You've got a nice flag pattern here.
Yeah,
you could have taken flag pattern here. You could have taken.
This was the consolidation. Then this gap. Is that volume bar with that gap?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Retest. Play it up. 2, 3.
Yep. And
Stop
now
down here.
this is where things get clear, right? Because once we have our big 1, 2 into place, which we do technically for now here, we have our I and double I wave, if you will, 1, 2. We know we're starting the parabolic move, and that's starting to be confirmed here with the volume and everything coming in. So you see how after the correction, it starts to get a little bit more clear.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that's life right there. That's what that consolidation at the top of this level after 1, 2, 3, tested 3 times, and then that first gap up with all that volume. Right there, baby. That's it. That's the trade. This would have pissed me off a lot, but yeah, that's it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. And that's where you identify too. I mean, could it be that this is the end of wave 1, and we had our ABC or something like that, and then this is a 1, 2, and we're moving it. It's all however you want to draw them. That's where I don't do a whole lot of wave counts with these. I just want to look at the fib levels and where we're at.
All right, so
now we just completed wave 3 of 3, at least in our mind for now, right? Because we hit the 618.
Yeah,
perfect.
Traded up here.
Traded up to the 1, 2, 3, 6, perfect. At least for now, we'll assume that we're kind of in this ABC back down to the 100. Where's my 100? Oh, there it is. Something like that. So, and there it is. Oh, a little bit further.
Hey-o.
Right.
Magic.
Oh no, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6 does go down to the 764. My bad. See?
Oh yeah, we were saying
1, 2,
this is the
6.
one that's uncommon,
so
but it's
crazy.
happening.
764.
It's voodoo. What kind of black
And-
magic is this?
God dang, look at that hammer right off the 764 retest.
I would have been pissed off if I was in that hammer.
ABC.
Yep.
1, 2.
1. All right, hold on. Do that again, Brett. A,
Something like this.
A, B,
ABC.
C.
Right?
Yep.
I bet there's volume on this candle. Yep.
Yeah.
People think it's going short. Now maybe have a 1, 2, take a breakout back over the 1, 2, 6, 3, something like that. See where it goes. And there we go. So now we're looking for what?
Now we're into
Eventually the 200.
Yep.
Now, Brett, this is the type of shit you can play some credit spreads on. Once you see this hammer come in, you just do a little BPS down here for a month out. Come on, son. 2 weeks out, like that. Because you can get so much closer to the money on the 4 hour. The premium
And
is so
again,
much
things aren't
juicier.
necessarily parabolic either, right? It could chop within here, it could retest. Just never know.
Oh, it gapped down. Oh, look at it. Wow.
And that was July. That brings us to December, right where we are now. All right. So
So we never actually traded up. Our 5-wave never actually.
no, we
Broke
double
it out.
topped right off the 236 here and came
Yeah.
back down. So who knows? I don't know what's going on with PayPal, but so let's see where it takes us now. Let's take a replay off here real quick. All right. We're back down to the 382. So what do we know?
Huh.
Could we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on a big scale and A, B, C? And now this will become our really large 1, 2.
This is the wave I drew this morning.
Is it?
Yes.
Perfect. Something like this. If we hold this level, because we
All right,
are.
So do that again. See, this is where I'm still trying to. All right, how do you kick it off initially? This is where
Well, that's what we did, but now we're looking at, okay, where's PayPal at right now? Still
Yeah.
taking it from the March low. Still taking it from the March low.
Gotcha.
So now with a little bit of a clearer picture, since we have all the information,
1,
1,
okay,
2,
yeah,
3, 4 is our chop consolidation where you find the triangles. 5, right? So that's our wave 1. Okay. Now we're working on an ABC or of some sort, right? I mean, ABC. This could be your wave B here. This is probably the C wave because it's 5-wave count and you've got all the volume in here. The C wave's an impulse move, just like wave 3 is. If that's the case, let's just plug this in here at the bottom. Why is this all messed up? What is going on? Did I flip this somehow? Okay. So now that's what we're looking at. Macro perspective. If this does hold and is a 1, 2, which I am looking at it now, it certainly could be, right? A, B, C, down to here. And if we zoom in a little bit, we can see a double bottom here, right? Good volume. What do we do? 1, 2. Right? Now we're back to this. We're looking for the first 5 waves up and first 3 waves back, right? We have our big trend established, and now we're just, how do we get into it?
So at this stage now, the first 5 waves up is going to take us to the big wave 3, correct?
The first 5 waves up
from the red grid and the red fib grid you just set up. That's so we're looking for
this right here. This first 5-wave move.
The first 5 wave will be our 1 wave. Then we wait for a 2, and then we get in on a 3 of the 3.
Yep.
I got
exactly.
Okay. So everything sets up. The 1, 2 setup sets up big wave 1.
Yep. So we have our macro big wave 1, right? Here, 1, 2. Now, how do we? If this is a 1, 2, and this is where it gets fun. We're starting wave 3. We are technically, can you guys see this? In this move right here. I guess I could just post that back on the screen. Macro, we just finished the 1, 2, the big and blue. Now we're looking for just the first 5 waves and pull back to get our 1, 2 here. To start our 1, 2, or our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where it gets really fractal. If PayPal is correct, we're starting right here, right now, starting wave 3. And we're looking for our 5-wave count up, right? Well, how do we get that? we have to find a 1-2 setup.
So hold on. All right.
Yep.
Hold on. So going off that right there, we've got 1-2 set up, waves 1 and waves 2, big waves.
But remember, because we're coming out of a correction, we're looking for this here first. You have to get this established before you can start wave 3. So that's where we're looking for our 1, 2 to get wave 3, 4, 5 up to here. So this would probably, let me try and draw this out. So it would probably be looking like this. 1, 2, let's call it a 3, 4, 5 comes up and fills the gap, right? And then let's say we have an A, B, C, something like this, okay? Let's say we have that. Then that will complete this initial move. Then we would run our fib. Something like this.
Gotcha.
Because that will be the actual 1-2 of this little move in here to start wave 3, 4, 5. Does that make sense?
Okay. It's fractal. We're breaking it. There's a 1-2 setup for each new big wave that's formed.
And this is where your head can really start to hurt if you think about it too much.
Dude, I think this just got easier.
Because then you would go, 7, 6, 4, 1. Let's say we go back to the 0.5. 3 goes up, 3, 4, something like that. And that maybe then that brings us to our rejection up here, right? And then we start to do an ABC here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, brings us maybe up to the 406 level. And that is our first letter I here on the big scale by using 5 wave counts to get there. So I hope I'm not confusing too much.
No, dude, that's
I'm totally confused, but that's good.
You know what we should do? We should all take a turn. We should all take a turn back trading one and setting one up while Brett's here.
Yeah, you need to back trade this 100 times to get it.
I think we should all take turns sharing our screen and back trade one chart.
And the easiest way I think about it is, okay, where am I at in the process? Big scale, we have our 1-2, all right? Knowing that, let's say I like to think we're going to get up to the 618. How are we going to get there? Well, we have a double bottom right now, okay? And so if I know if this is the double bottom and we're starting this level, I need 5 waves up to here. And to get that 5 waves, I need to establish my 1-2 first. So I'm establishing my first 1-2 to get myself a baseline, if you will, to get myself going. Does that make any sense at all? Man, this stuff's hard to explain a little bit.
No, dude, I think that's the easiest way to explain it. Once you get a corrective move, all you start doing is looking for an I to make your 1. So there should be I. Wait, 1, 2. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Let me restart. So corrective move. Then we're looking for an I, which will be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. This is our 1, 2. Now we start it from here, and now we're looking for our 3 up to here, and then our 4, and then our 5. Exactly. And inside of this 3, we should have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C down to 4, and then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay. And again, like I said, I don't worry about the wave count so much. I follow the fib numbers. If I see a good rejection off of a level, to me that's good enough, and that's what I'm going to play.
That makes sense too.
So, because I've spent way too much time trying to figure out Elliot Wave, and I've gone down the rabbit hole of everything.
Who wants to take a turn on the back trade? Brett, are you cool with that? Do you think that's a good idea?
Yep, I've got to hop off here shortly, though.
Okay.
Getting ready for Christmas and kids and things like that, but
yeah, I've got to roll as well. We did record this, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy to do it again too. Anytime.
I'm going to back trade it and play with it, man.
Yeah.
So, all right, let me make sure I got this in my head again. I'm a high rep guy. Okay. When I coached, you had players that picked it up immediately, and then you had the morons, and we called them high rep guys. I'm the moron. I'm the high rep guy. So when you want to start your 1-2 setup, all right, you're looking for a 5 wave then a 3-wave correction,
Always.
and then off of that 3-wave correction, you can put your 1-2 off of that. Is that right? Your setup against,
Yep.
yeah,
Remember,
for some reason, man, I can't get that setup down.
so here's the thing. All this on a chart is simply a 5-wave move, right? It's an impulse
Mhm.
move. And so you're going to find this pattern on wave 1, and you're going to get a correction. And you're going to find this pattern again on wave 3. Then you're going to get a correction, and you're going to find this pattern again going
Yep.
up to 5. So you're going to have
Yep.
all this going on to here, a pullback, all this going on
Right.
to here, a
Yep.
pullback. So it's just how detailed do you want to get within it, right? I
Gotcha.
use it as, I know we have our big 1-2 now. Now I want to find just the initial 1-2 of this move, right? And how am I going to do that? Well, since we have a double bottom, I'm going to plot that there, and I'm going to say, okay, assuming I'm just going to plot it out like I think it could happen. I think we're going to end at the 200% level right at this gap fill. So I'm going to say, okay, well, that's going to be our move 1, right? And then we're going
Gotcha.
to pull back to here,
Okay.
right? I'm going to consider that my 1-2, right?
Now this is your
I'll just
wave
do
1,
this.
but the reason you put it at the 200 is because you should have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that gets you up
1,
there.
2, 3, 4, 5 getting up here, right?
And then an A,
And
B,
so that's just
C
using
back to 2.
technical analysis and going something like this. All right, so now we have our 1-2 established. Now I think we trade up to, probably the 764, which is where the 382 is on the bigger time frame, and then just kind of, okay, we trade up to the 764. Where do we retrace to from there? We come back down to the 100, where that is. There it is. And something like that. That's going to be my wave I. That's how I think it's going to play out.
Bro, I never thought I'd say this, Brett, but this shit's easy, dude. You're a beast.
I spent so many hours trying to figure out what
It's so simple now, though, dude. It's really simple. You just look for this. That's your 2, 3, 4, 5. I think for me, the biggest thing was calibrating my expectations. Like, I expected everything to be like beautiful and perfect, and it's just not. And what you're saying about the fib levels makes it perfect sense. So like, you don't even care. You just know if this is a 1-2, I should trade up to the 200, and that should be my 1. And then everything else inside that is just confluence. Like, you're just like, okay, well, it looks even better. So now 2, I should trade up to here, and then you're looking for a rejection. If you get a rejection, maybe you go long down here, or maybe you want to break above up to the next level. And in every single structure, there should be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And every time it pulls back, there should be an ABC. And then every time you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's one wave ABC. There's your second 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, dude, it's pretty simple.
That makes sense to me.
That's it.
And it's just my brain's hitting a wall. I totally understand the 5-3. But what I'm still trying to figure out is, all right, where, after what 5-3 do you do the 1-2 setup?
Corrective wave, right? Is that what you're talking about, Shep?
Yeah, like where do I set up the projections?
So for me, and Brett, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to answer this because I've just learned it today too. So this will be good if we try to talk about ourselves and then we have you kind of overseeing it. So Brett, if you zoom out, so on our bigger time frame, we just got this pullback, right? But even if you just like ignore all this shit, it sticks out like a sore thumb that we just had this correction. So once you have a correction, you're looking for kind of like a double bottom like this, and then that's your I, and then you plot that. So if this is your I, you're looking for that 200 level to create your first 1. Then once you get to that 1, you're looking for this 2. Once this 2 comes in, now you plot the 3-point based on this, and you start looking for your projections. Now this wave doesn't have to be perfect, so maybe you wait for, this is our 1, 2, and then once we get a 3, 4, and then a 5, now this becomes your wave 1, and then you trade down to a 2, and then now you're into the 3 of the 3. But every time you make a new structure, every time you complete a 5, you're doing an ABC, and then you're just adding an additional layer on top of that. Does that make sense?
So
And I'm starting everything from the March COVID lows is where I'm starting all my charts from.
So really,
For the larger picture.
you're starting from March, but you could really start after any correction. The projection
Depending on your
can
time frame,
start
absolutely. Mhm.
after the correction.
Yeah, we could jump down. Let's just take a look. We could jump down to the 15-minute here, and
So
we
it
made
truly-
a low. Is this a 1-2 setup? I would think so. 1-2 gap for 3,
Yeah.
4, 5. Right.
And then
So I mean, if
ABC,
you
here's your 2.
1-2, and here's your gap, and you're like, okay, we have our 1-2, we're gapping. I can day trade this because we're into wave 3 on this time frame. So, and then we came down and hit a B C, something like that, and then now we have our however you want to do it. You could do it on the 3-minute time frame. I mean, you get a little bit more probably not as good, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. Is this a 1-2 here on the 3-minute?
This one looks like it. So then that's your 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have ABC-ish.
How's that align? It's a little extended, but it's 3-minute time frame.
Yeah, you're gonna get
You know,
that.
I'm more
The
variant.
smaller the time frame, you get more dramatic shit that happens, and it happens
Check it
faster.
out. You have your 1-2 right here. What happens? We're rejecting right off the 764, right? Okay, we're rejecting off the 764. I'm gonna go ahead and set a limit buy off of my 0.5 level because we're rejecting there. So my 0.5 level, I'm gonna put a limit buy right there. Put my stop. Blow pivot for a day trade.
Yeah, and that's a good trade.
Because I know where we're coming down to, and we did, and boom, sauce.
You're looking to take that. So if this is your 1-2, you're looking to take this puppy up into the 200 level.
Probably, yeah, because I could see 2 upper wicks here, right off of that 764 level, one of my favorite levels, right?
Which just happens to be also that pivot.
764. I see us rejecting. I look at the sheet. Should come down to the 0.5. Limit buy here.
And the RR is great because you have this whole pivot to protect your stop.
Exactly.
And you have
That's
this
what I love about it.
bottom too. Like this is a base. This formed a base after a big move down. No real volume in here.
Have you ever heard by the first pullback?
No, I haven't
Exactly
heard that, but my brain.
That's exactly what it is. You're coming out of a base. There's your 1. There's your pullback, and that's where you get the 3-wave.
Yeah,
And this is on the 3-minute chart.
this would have broke some hearts right here.
Yeah, would have. You're sure how it goes. But maybe you set, stop, and forget. But at least I know, coming here, I could see us coming out of a base. I know exactly where my entry's going. I don't need to guess. So,
Yeah, dude, that's nice. So Shep, I
curious.
guess to answer your question, look for a correction or look for a move down and then a base, and then look for a double bottom. Start your 1-2,
Yep.
run it that way, and then look for that
And-
first rejection level to confirm.
You can.
From one of the 2 fib charts based on the pinball that you'd be working off of.
I'm only gonna use this one. I'm not looking at either of those 2 anymore. I'm only gonna use this, and I'll put the new link in Slack.
So somebody was asking about how to find where a correction ends. Let's take this off. So we're running our fib retracement, which is what I use a lot of times for entries and things, from low to high. How far? Because this is all technically one 5-wave count, right? One leg. Okay. And so an ABC is where I look for a retracement. So I run my 2-point fib low to high, and we are right down to 382. Not perfect, but close. But it gives me ideas. Hey, if we fail the 382 here, where are we going to go? Probably down to the 0.5. Just like that.
Yeah, so you could either buy puts, you could wait for this, and then a pullback, stop here, buy puts.
Which we did on T-Doc, which ended up hitting that target, by the way.
You did? Oh, dude.
Yeah, I didn't hit that target. I got out. I got out way.
So wait, I have to see it. What was it? Was it 214, 114? What were we waiting for it to get down to?
Let me pull that up.
That thing took forever to get down there.
Yes, it did.
Oh my God, look at that little bitch.
And it almost came, I think it almost came down exactly to the fib level that I had on it. Right
Was
down
this
to
where-
support.
Was
You
this?
and I got in
Wait,
somewhere
where
around
Yeah,
here,
was it
we
up
got
there?
Stopped on this move back, and then it just fell like a
Oh,
rock.
no way.
Damn, dude. Well, yeah, no, that went way farther than our target, didn't? Oh no, your target was down there.
My target was
I
down
said,
there, and I
yeah,
was
I
told
said like
crazy.
114. Yeah, I did say that. I said like 114 would be as low as it went, and then look at this.
Yep. But
Nice.
think about this. Okay, jumping over this. By the way, I'm using log scale. I know T-Docs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now this is our 1-2.
A, B, C. C is the impulsive wave, right? We got volume, we got a big candle. This is on a monthly chart, right? So if we stack in confluence of monthly chart, A, B, C, throw on a fib retracement, you know, lines.
He said, and I was told I was crazy.
It's like not going down. I had many people tell me that. I'm like, I don't know. I trust my fibs. And I think what I had done on that one was on the weekly chart. I think I had ran the 3-point fib to the downside. Was it like this? I think. No, it was down here. Yep, because we had our 1.236 target to the downside. Yeah, because we had traded down to the 764. Right, same thing to the downside. This works. Traded to the 764. Where do we go from?
Yeah.
Back to the 0.5. So we retrace a little bit further. That's fine. And we should come down to 382 or 236, whatever. You know, works for me. I'm close enough.
Oh, you mean for your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside of your 2?
Yeah, so this is just 1, 2. How did I do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's your 5 waves. Pull back. Maybe that was it. This is how it should be, because it should be measured off the 5 wave of the pullback. Oh, there we go. Look at this. All right, so everybody see the 5 wave down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
and then a pullback. There's your 1-2 setup, right? Draw your fib to the downside off the 1-2 setup. And now the low on this one, 87.27, 87.88.
Shouldn't we be in
Right
the
off
3 wave?
618. What's that?
Shouldn't we be in the 3
We are.
to the downside?
ABC. Yeah, ABC. You could, but you still, you know, I call it that because we've got, you know, I see this impulsive move here, and to me that just screams C, C wave. So, but I mean, on a weekly chart, $80 some odd stock coming right into this level. Granted, where's it aligned to, right? Stacking technical analysis. We've got a gap fill right here on a weekly chart. You know, you got buyers in here.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yep.
This was.
I just like to use this for a little bit more precision. Yeah. So, but that, I guess that begs the question: is this now a 1-2, right?
Wait, dude,
Because
weren't your calls like, or your puts like December's?
Yeah, it reached my target after I would have been expired out anyway.
Yeah.
So, what do I want to see? 1, 2, 3. I think it was this one, this initial 1-2. Is this the one I was looking at? I measured out T-Doc at one point. It's amazing how this stuff works, because I'm telling you, it's all connected. As I look at this chart, this in here to me just screams wave forward, just because of this triangle that stands out. So I'm trying to figure out where our 1-2 would have been, because
This looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC. That's what I had for a 1-2 here. And if we lock that in, traded to the 764, down to the 382, hit the 1382, weird wave forward, but then we traded right up to the 1618. So Is this the end of wave 3? Are we still in our first wave, right? On a bigger time frame.
You mean the 1-2?
From this 1-2, this is the end of wave 3. So we should
4,
trade down to the
5,
100 level or so, which
and
came a
then
little bit
1,
below.
2.
So could T-Doc get up to 450? Probably. Who knows? I mean, it could be years.
Yeah,
Maybe
this is the
never,
weekly
but-
chart. Yeah, it could take a while.
But still, kind of gives you a good idea of, whenever he's like, oh, the sky's falling, T-Doc's falling. If you look at it, I mean, not really.
Yeah.
I posted that chart on SE the other day. This one blows my mind. I use this 1-2 setup. Are you guys familiar with C Limited?
I don't think I've ever really traded it, but I've seen the chart.
1-2, then we got a parabolic 3, 4, 5, and
ABC.
right at the 382, right?
That's
our
a-
first
That's
5-wave
clean.
move.
Yeah.
1-2.
Yep.
From the here. Look at this.
Dude, this is so easy. I
Almost to
finally
the
get it.
freaking
I'm so
penny.
pumped.
200, almost to the penny, 200% extension level on earnings, and the thing tanks. Can't make it up.
That is a clean move. That is very clean.
Isn't that
Good
crazy?
move. What a
You- you
move.
got-
And this stuff just blows my mind.
You use the 1-2 projection to predict each wave of the overall
So
larger 5
I
wave
use-
pattern.
I used the 1-2 to figure out the 1-2, the small one, to figure out our first 1-2 on the bigger scale. And that took us to here. So then I go, okay, this is our first wave 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. So that's 1,
1, 2.
that's 2. All this move here is wave 3, which hit the 1764. Shocking. Chop in here for wave 4. Hit wave 5, 200% extension level.
This one is very clean.
Yeah.
Very clean.
And you don't usually get those on IPO because there's no price history. So I was pretty excited to see this one.
Well, it makes sense actually. It makes sense because like especially the more recent IPOs, I'm sure these algos have just been, at least in the past like 5-10 years especially, have been really like gearing up towards this.
Yep.
So it
Oh,
makes
if
sense
they
that for
don't have-
recent ones.
And if they don't have price history, they don't have anything to go off.
Exactly.
Of, so
That's
they
my
go
point,
off the
yeah.
algos, and it
Exactly.
becomes extremely
Yep.
clean. It's because it's all off the map.
So that's why I don't know. I love these fibs.
I mean,
The reason I use log scale is because fibs are based off percentages. Log scale is based off percentages. Otherwise, you get monthly charts that look like this, and you can't do much with them.
Wait a sec. Okay, can you click that again? Okay, well this just blew my mind in half. Do you use log even on the 5-minute?
Yep. So it doesn't change much on lower time frames, but on bigger time frames like monthly charts, you'll get a very clear picture.
So,
So
what about like, so do you have log on just all the time?
I do. Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm a little
It really doesn't
scared.
change anything.
I'm a little scared.
On the higher time frame, it does. But if you take log off because it's percentage based, you get an accurate fib. But if you take log off, which is price based, which will also work, by the way, I just don't think it works as well because I like to see what the higher time frames are doing.
It definitely
1,
looks
2.
better like this. Or I'm sorry,
Yeah.
like how you had it with the log on.
Yeah. But then, if I want to see something like an Amazon, right, that's been around forever, and I don't have log on a monthly chart, I can't do much with it. But I throw the log on, and all of a sudden, which is percentage based, now I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my 1, 2 on Amazon. At least I'm assuming so. Bring
Damn.
it down. All right, where are we at in Amazon cycle? We just cleared we hit the 236, shocking, chopped around here. And now we broke the 1382. Our first rejection was off the 618, and then we traded down. So where should we go to? Wave 3 should go to
382.
the 382. Oh boy. And we hit there, and now we're just chopping. Now this is what I'm talking about on, very beginning maybe. Do I really think Amazon's going to pull from the 382 down to the 100% level at $474? No. But I will say we hit our wave 3 target. We'll probably just chop in here for a while until it's consolidated enough and ready to move.
And then maybe if we do get any kind of significant pullback or like a pullback into a base, then we maybe just start our 1-2 over again.
I did say I put it on Twitter not too long ago. I could see Amazon maybe coming down to 2,600 though. A retest to this level.
Yeah, definitely. That does.
That's called crazy.
No, I mean that definitely. It does. It makes. I don't know why anyone would call you crazy for that. It's not like a preposterous idea.
No,
like it's not even that far away.
I mean, it's almost. No, it's 3 Fed. You're dropping off 25% the stock value, maybe.
It is probably more likely for it to pop out than it is to pop down.
Yeah.
But
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But any time frame, you just as long as you have the log scale on, you can find Netflix, right? I haven't even plotted this one, but I think that's a pretty clear 1-2 there, right?
yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C.
Something like that.
3 wave. A, B, C, 4
Oh,
wave.
we had a big correction here.
Where are you going?
1, 2, 3, 8, 2 to 7, 6, 4.
There's your 1, 2, right?
Is that right? 3, 8, 2 to the 7, 6, 4. That's about right. And now we're really up there. Wow. Is this the end of Netflix's run for right now? Who knows?
I'm just gonna have to dive into this.
Yeah. Play around with it.
I'm gonna draw the chart that you posted because I was trying to follow on the first fib pinball chart, which is different. I'm gonna have to draw the one you just posted in Slack out and use that and just go play with it. And
Bro.
Yeah.
Because
Give it a shot.
You can literally, as long as you understand the 5-3, the 5-wave, 3-wave structure.
That's all you need.
You can play with it to set up the 1-2, and if it's matching up, then you're tracking at least in the right direction.
Exactly.
It blows my mind how fractal the market is. I mean, it just it's
That Dow chart I posted, at least that I can see every major economic event in history is.
Did y'all ever read the book Flash Boys?
Mm-mm.
Go read that book, Flash Boys, because
Take a look at it.
It talks about how the algo started and the algo wars that all went on when everybody started, and how the market will crash like 700 points in 10 minutes, and how can that even be? And it makes total sense when you start applying this stuff to it, especially down to the minute chart. You know what I mean? I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. This is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta hop off. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Otherwise,
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot
with
of
it.
questions from me.
anytime.
Dude,
Like I said,
finally clicks.
Thank you very much.
Martin, awesome to meet you, bro. Awesome to meet you on Zoom,
Martin.
by the way. This is the best.
Where are you, Martin? What country are you in?
Germany.
Germany. Okay, because when you said you just got up the other day, I was like, well, dang, I'm about to go to bed.
It's 8 p.m. here. 8
Holy
p.m.
moly. All right, guys.
All right.
Y'all have a
Thank
good
you very
one.
much.
Thanks a lot, guys. This will be on YouTube too. It's gonna upload right now.
Cool.
I will
Thanks,
watch
Lance.
this.
Bye.
See you guys. This was awesome.
Bye.
What? Oh. Oh my god. What? Ah.